Uh-oh. That's probably not good. Hey guys, today on Robbie's Reviews, I am reviewing the 2018 Jeep Grand Cherokee Trackhawk. I just want to thank my friend Vinny, who's lent me his truck to take out on the road, see what it's like to drive, and go over all its cool features and any little Easter eggs we can find. So let's go check it out. Alright guys, here she is, 2018 Jeep Grand Cherokee Trackhawk. This example is finished in pitch black, which is a lovely metallic finish. Lots of metal flake in it. And as you can see, my friend Vinny here has the Vossen forged wheels with the Eibach lowering springs. Adds a really nice stance to the truck. And of course the OEM yellow Brembo calipers. Got the matching valve stem covers here. The Vossen hybrid forged. They look very good. They're 20-inch, wrapped in Pirelli P0 tires. Truck ride's awesome, especially with the adaptive SRT suspension. Going around the side of the truck, you can see the silhouette really hasn't changed much from the regular Grand Cherokee. The edges of the bumpers look kind of different, and the way that the truck sits is different, of course, with the lowering springs. However, the basic silhouette is still a Grand Cherokee body. But one difference is you have the Grand Cherokee badging here with supercharged badge. That is not something you'll find on any other Jeep. Moving around the back, you have the wraparound rear parking sensors. They're in the front end as well. You can really see that sun hitting that pitch black here. It looks great. You have the black Jeep badging here and that Trackhawk badge. And one thing that's unique to the Trackhawks are you have the black quad exhaust. Looks very good with that unique diffuser, as well as a full pano roof. And coming back around the front, of course, the entire front end of the Trackhawk is unique to only the Trackhawk. So you have those wide openings for the intercoolers there, the oil coolers. And the grill, the little rectangles or squares, are actually a little bit smaller because you have another intake down here. And you have a much wider mouth down here that houses the adaptive cruise control radar sensor, parking sensors, an extra little chin here, chin spoiler. And of course you have those very, very aggressive headlights. They're thin with the daytime running light, which we'll take a look at in a little bit. You have the headlight washers here, black Jeep logo again, and you have the heat extractors. These are not intakes, they're actually meant to extract hot air from the engine bay, and then it just has it go right over the roof. And it works well on Hellcats, and they introduced that same feature on the Trackhawk, and it works great for cooling. So the Trackhawk has fully adaptive bi-xenon HID headlights. We're actually going to turn those on right now so you guys can see them. So as you can see, the daytime running light stays on with the projector at night. And you have the turn signals in there, which we'll turn on in a second. And they're not switchbacks, but basically the DRL will turn off and you'll have the amber part of the turn signal here. And looking up close, we actually have a little Willys Jeep, 1940s Willys Jeep, that is in the headlight. Very, very cool little touch. Jeep loves doing that. So right now I'm going to do a little remote start so you guys can see the DRLs with the Trackhawk key here. You can hear that aftermarket alarm. And as you can see, the daytime running lights turn off for the turn signals. That's probably the loudest radiator fan I've ever heard. So now, just to show you guys one more time, let's put the left turn signal on. Now you're going to see the daytime running light turns off for the turn signal. I'm going to turn it off. So now we're going to pop the hood and take a look at that 6.2 liter supercharged Hemi V8. There it is. 6.2 liters, 707 horsepower, 645 pound-feet of torque. You have the classic orange valve covers here, all the pulleys. You have that intake here, large intake. Definitely takes in a lot of air. It's a supercharged Hemi badging there. You got all your oil and coolant reservoirs here. Love the packaging, especially the way the engine's kind of leaned back. It's not too far forward. And that definitely lends a hand to the Trackhawk's handling, which is excellent. And I guess that's why they call it the Trackhawk. For a big 5,000 plus pound SUV, it handles great and is really formidable against supercars, sports cars, and the like. You have the SRT logo up here, nice little touch. Now let's close it down. And actually, what I initially thought was pitch black is actually called Diamond Black Crystal Pearl. It's similar to pitch black, except it has a lot of metal flake, a lot of gold and bronze metal flake in it, and must be a new color for the Trackhawk, because I know the SRTs, the SRT Grand Cherokee came in pitch black. This is a much nicer color. So now we're going to step inside, check out the interior of the Trackhawk. Start it up. Red push start button there.
Testing. System ready.
It's got the radar detector, front and rear dash cams. This thing is like a rolling fortress. Well, right off the bat, you see that Vinny has opted for the upgraded Laguna leather interior, the full leather seats. Very soft. Bolstering is nice. You have the Trackhawk logo here. The red seat belts there. All the carbon fiber trim. White contrast stitching looks amazing. You have the full leather on the dashboard. All full leather wrapped with contrast stitching. And Vinny has actually gotten the upgraded Harman Kardon system. See down there. The Trackhawk features a full Alcantara headliner, as well as the sun visors. And a full panoramic roof. Goes all the way back. Got plenty of sunlight, or if you want to open it at night. Looks great. You've got the red seat belts in the back as well. And here you have the nice full leather wrapped SRT style flat bottom steering wheel with the Trackhawk logo. Perforated leather here, full leather up top. Leather wrapped with contrast stitching on the horn cover. Got the Jeep logo. All your phone, voice controls, navigation for the TFT display up here. You have your adaptive cruise control settings here. Nice aluminum paddle shifters that are mounted to the wheel. You have your auto wipers, auto high beams, your rear wiper controls. Here you have the electronic shifter for the ZF 8-speed transmission, otherwise known as the HP95, which is the special version of the 8-speed transmission that's in the Trackhawk. So you have the nice perforated leather here, the aluminum trim, shift boot, and down here you've got your launch control button, your drive modes, selector, sport, track, auto, whatever the Trackhawk thinks the mode should be in, depending on the situation and the weather conditions, snow, towing mode. Then you can click here, go to your drive modes, customize your, actually you can just go to your custom setting here, and his custom setting is transmission track, paddles on, sport, track, sport. You can customize that to your liking. You go to the drive modes, and you have race options, which activates your launch control, and you can set the RPM up to 3,500 RPMs, which is pretty high. We're going to try it in a little bit at 1,400 RPMs and see where it gets us. You have the shift light as well, pretty cool. Up here you have another center channel for that Harman Kardon system, as well as more leather, more stitching. Here we get to the gauge cluster. You have the nice bezel here, as well as the center digital screen that's configurable to a point. The tachometer stays the same, but you can choose what displays in the middle. You have the speedo on the side, 200 mile an hour speedo, and your oil temperature, fuel. You can pretty much scroll through Oil life, just got an oil change yesterday, so it's at 99% oil life. And here's probably my favorite menu with the little Trackhawk logo. You have 0 to 60, 0 to 100, 60 foot, 1/8 mile timer, 1/4 mile timer, braking distance, G-force meter, and this is the most G's that Vinny's pulled. 0.91 braking, that's a lot. 1.27 on launch, and 0.8 give or take on cornering, which is a lot. I mean, this is an SUV. 0.8 G's turning is pretty nice. Here you have a lap timer, lap history, top speed. Let's just we'll say that was on the track. Back to the 0 to 60 timer, which we're definitely going to look at in a little bit. So Vinny's best time is 3.5, and he has challenged me to beat that. Now stock, according to Road and Track, Car and Driver, and all the media outlets, they say it's 3.5. Jeep says it's 3.5, so some people have beaten it depending on weather. Sometimes they're downhill, or they have mods they don't tell anybody about, but we're going to try to beat that later. Now let's take a look at the latest generation of Uconnect. It's the 8.4-inch touchscreen, which is, in my opinion, the best infotainment on the market, and it's a lot of other people's opinion too. I mean, you can't beat it. I've had it in several cars, and compared to everything, Audi, Mercedes, Jaguar, Cadillac, all the GM models, Uconnect just can't be beat. It's in all the FCA cars, Fiat Chrysler, Alfa Romeo doesn't have it. They have their own version, but it is in Maserati. So you got Sirius XM, got all the channels here. You can actually use these controls, finger controls in the back of the steering wheel, to mute the radio, go next channel, next track, stuff like that. It's very nice when you're driving. You got media, climate control, it's 2-zone. You have heated and cooled seats for the front seats, heated steering wheel. I believe there are rear heated seats. We'll check out in a little bit. You have the Uconnect apps, Wi-Fi hotspot, vehicle user guide, app manager, backup camera. Back. Your seat controls, ventilated seat, heated seat, backup camera, settings. Click on that. And something I wanted to show you guys was there's kind of an Easter egg on the Trackhawk that I wanted to show you guys. So I don't know if you can see this kind of logo here. This is the Trackhawk, and this figure or design is not in any marketing material, not on any apparel or anything used by Jeep. So I was wondering why they would do something like this. I would love to have this on a shirt, to be honest. If you go to display, set theme, if you have a Trackhawk, it is number 7. So number 8 is just a track. Number 6 is, not sure what that is. Number 9, checkered flag. But 7 is by far the coolest, and it is this Trackhawk logo. See if we can go back to it. Pretty cool. And that's about it for the Uconnect. I mean, you've got the navigation, you've got your map, nice high definition, pinch to zoom. Got all your temperatures up here to clock, all your AC controls down here. And this Trackhawk, or the Trackhawk in general, I believe standard has a whole suite of safety features. So it has the adaptive cruise control with forward collision assist, the blind spot monitoring there, which you can see the little triangle that was adopted from Mercedes-Benz, rear crosspath detection alert. I think it has some form of attention assist if you get drowsy. Just all the modern safety tech that's really mandatory for cars to have now. And moving down here, the transmission tunnel, you have this is all leather wrapped. Really, really nice. The quality is amazing. Buttons feel good. Everything feels solid. When you close the door, just feels solid. I mean, really, really well built. Definitely a lot of value for the money. Decent center console. Little CD player in there. Huge glove box, which you should expect for an SUV. You have all your controls up here for the power liftgate, sunroof, panel roof settings, your home link for the garage door opener, your dome lights, reading lights. The nice, actually have a Trackhawk logo on the floor mat there. That's a nice touch. And one more thing I want to add about the Uconnect is it actually has Apple CarPlay, which is cool, and I believe Android Auto. honestly, that is pretty much it. There's really not much to it. It's a simple interior. It gets the job done. You don't have more than you need. All the modern creature comforts are here. All the performance features are here. I mean, there's a button here just to turn the screen off, which is pretty cool. It has self-parking, lane keep assist. It has eco mode, which on a 707 horsepower SUV I find hilarious, but it's there. You can turn traction control off, even though it's all-wheel drive, but some of these buttons are blanks. I assume that's because of features that the lesser Grand Cherokees have, for whether it's towing modes or their engines or whatever they have. But this is the top of the range model. This is a fully loaded example. So now we're going to go get some startup and rev clips and then take it out on the road and see what it's like to drive. Then we're going to try to break that 3.5 0 to 60 time. Alright, we're going to do launch control on the Jeep Trackhawk. First put it in drive. The launch button down here. It says launch control activated. Vehicle will launch at 2200 RPM. It actually goes as high as 3500. However, sometimes the tires don't hold and this is not really the best road. In the center screen it says launch enabled, apply full throttle, showing our current brake pressure. Here we go. This thing moves pretty nice for being over 5,000 pounds. So right now we're driving the 2018 Jeep Grand Cherokee Trackhawk. Once again, I just want to thank my friend Vinny for allowing me to borrow his truck for the day and take it out for a drive. Get my opinion on it. Last time I actually drove a Trackhawk was 2 years ago, and I had 40 miles on it, so I couldn't really do anything. And then a couple weeks later, it had gained 100 horsepower to the wheels. So I could no longer gauge what it felt like to drive a stock Trackhawk like this one. But this one has just under 10,000 miles, bone stock. It is lowered, and it has aftermarket wheels, but that doesn't really have an effect on the sound or performance. So engine-wise, it's really bone stock. And just here in a pretty good sized business park, lots of nice long roads, twisty roads. And right now I've got it in sport mode, and it rides great. The SRT adaptive suspension. If I put it in track mode, it gets a little bit stiffer, but nonetheless it rides great, very compliant. Coming up to a straightaway here, going to do a tiny little pull. Like that, it gets to 60 miles an hour in no time. For a 5,000 plus pound vehicle, I believe it's 53 or 5,400 pounds, something like that. With that all-wheel drive and 700 plus horsepower Hemi V8, you really can't beat it. It's easy to drive. I mean, it's totally docile. Like what you just saw. Actually, let me do one can get up to a speed that is not exactly legal. But the power that this thing makes being stock, so it's about 645 pound-feet of torque, and when they're stock, they'll make 580 all-wheel horsepower. So that's a very healthy number for a vehicle this large. And with the all-wheel drive, it's no wonder that it's able to get out of its own way so quickly. I mean, it's everything from the electric power steering, the adaptive cruise control, got cooled seats on. Everything just makes life easier, especially merging power. Nothing really merges onto a highway like a Trackhawk that I found out. With that ZF8 speed, it's incredibly fast. The upshifts are lightning quick. It's almost on a dual clutch level, except being a torque converter can actually handle more power than a dual clutch. Do a small pull here. This thing is way too much fun, and the fact that you can get one of these for I think around 80 grand or so now. This one was about $103,000 new, but used market, I think they're going in the 70s if I'm not mistaken. I mean, it's probably one of the best bargains right now as far as used supercharged SUVs go. But yeah, as far as competition, there's really not much like it. There's not much that competes with the Trackhawk as far as supercharged SUVs go. When it comes to twin turbo vehicles, all the Germans, they have the X5M, the X6M, the GLE63, GLS, and you've of course got the Lamborghini Urus and the Audi RS Q8 that's coming out soon. The Urus is like 3 times this, what the Trackhawk costs, makes less power, is less comfortable if I'm honest. Doesn't sound near as good. It has the Audi 4-liter twin turbo V8 and just doesn't sound like this at all. The RS Q8 actually shared engine with the Urus, and let's see what else competes with the Trackhawk. Well, you have the big full-size Range Rovers, the SVR and the SV Autobiography, but again, those are $250,000 SUVs, and sometimes they're even more. So the fact that you can get this much value, this much power, comfort, technology for well under 100 grand, it blows everything else in the market out of the water, in my opinion. Alright guys, well that should do it for this review of the 2018 Jeep Grand Cherokee Trackhawk. Once again, I just want to thank my friend Vinny for letting me borrow the truck and take it out on the road to review it and to show you guys all its cool features. See you next time.